Hey guys, just wanted to share with you the lab work that I got. I wanted to find out how I was doing with the raw vegan lifestyle. I've been raw vegan for the past year and a month now, and I was concerned that maybe I would be deficient in something or creating any kind of problems, because according to people, you know, it's not healthy to be a vegan because you're not getting all the nutrients you need because you're not eating beef and all this, that, and the other. Well, I'm here to prove people wrong. One of the number one things that people notice is that their iron goes down, like their hemoglobin and their hematocrit, whatever it's called. And my hemoglobin was 13.5, and the range is 13.2 to 17.1. My hematocrit, so I'm not anemic, my hematocrit was 39.4, and the norm is 38.5 to 50. Platelet counts are 288, and the range is 140 over 400. Liver's doing fantastic. All the numbers are great. The nymphrols and all that stuff is fantastic. The glucose, as much fruit as I eat, and it's hard to focus on these things, you probably can't really see it. The glucose, which a lot of people say, well, if you eat too much fruit, you'll become diabetic. Well, my glucose is 89, and the norm is 65 over 99. Uric acid is 0.93. The norm is 0.78 to 1.34. My creatine is 0.93. What did I say? My uric is 7, and it's from 7 to 225. And the creatine is 0.93 to 0.78 and 1.34. My sodium is 138, and the norm is 135 to 146. My potassium, with all the bananas that I eat, you know, people go, oh, is your potassium going to be too high? Well, I eat tons of bananas, and sometimes 10 to 12 a day, and my potassium was 4.3. The norm is 3.5 to 5.3, not even high. My calcium, and I take no calcium because I drink no dairy or do anything like that, it's 9.4, and the norm is 8.6 to 10.2. I'm pretty much in the high level, and I drink no milk. I do no animal products whatsoever. So that theory about having dairy to keep your calcium up goes off, you know, the deep end somewhere. What else is important? My cholesterol is 162, norm is 125 over 200. My LDL is 88, and then greater than is 130, so I'm like cruising on that one. My HDL is 51, and 40. In other words, if it was, I'm like cruising on that one too, 51, so less than 40 is bad. I got 51 HDL, LDL is 88, more than 130, less than 130 is bad or whatever. I'm in the clear, super clear on that one. The only thing was testosterone was 20, and the norm is 241 to 827. Well, I have no testes, so I can't produce testosterone, and I have no ovaries, so I can't produce no hormones. So my higher self knew that I had to start hormones again, and that's why I started this Monday. And even before I had the results of these tests, my TSH, third generation, is 2.54, and the norm is 0.40 over 4.50. So pretty much, folks, I'm as healthy as an ox and a proud vegan, raw vegan. And here I am, you know, not thick and frail or anything like that. I did all good. Now I'm going through a next stage in my life, and this next stage is I'm starting hormones again, and I might add a little cooked food, a little sweet potato, a little brown rice, to see how I feel. I like to play with things, and if I don't feel good, then I'll go back to being 100% raw vegan. I'll be high raw, but I listen to my body. You know, I made a comment the other day that I'm like the wind, and somebody says, well, you change your mind all the time. well, you know what, if you're not flexible in this world, then you're doomed. And then somebody else in the Facebook said, well, you owe trans community an apology. I don't owe no one an apology. I still stand by what I said before. Synthetic hormones are very bad for you. I'm on bioidentical, and I did my research to find out ways that I could raise my testosterone without putting myself in danger. I'm also going to be on Arimidex, which is an anti-estrogen. It's not the testosterone so much that does the damage to you. It's the increase of estrogen. When your testosterone level goes up, the body tries to normalize it and increases your estrogen. So keeping your estrogen down is an important thing. Anyway, you know, I'm happy as can be. Everything's looking good. And I don't feel like I'm a hypocrite. I've been called a hypocrite because I went back on hormones. I listen to my body, and I listen to what's right for my body. And I don't do things out of vanity. I do things out of health. And I listen, so much so that I knew, look at 20 for testosterone. So all my fat deposits and everything were stripped down to the T. And I knew because I started seeing my body changing a little bit. It was like it wasn't as hard as it was because testosterone makes you hard. So I figured it's time for a blood test. And, you know, to my surprise, everything's fantastic. There's just absolutely nothing going on. All the numbers are, you know, my white blood cell, 5.2. The norm is 3.8 to 10.8, so there's no infection or nothing going on in my body. My red blood cells are, let's see here, red blood cells are 4.2, and the norm is 4.2 to 5.80. That's kind of like, I'm right on the mark, but that's because my blood used to be so thick before with testosterone. My red blood cells used to be off the chains before, and I was finding the body's brought it down. So it's all good, man. I'm really happy with the results. $300 out of pocket to pay for this testing. It's incredible how expensive it is when you don't have insurance. So anyway, just wanted to share that with you. I don't owe anyone an apology. For those of you who think I do, I still stand with what I believe in firmly. And I would always advise my trans brothers to be very careful. Buyers beware. Synthetic hormones are very lethal. If you could try to get into either the androgel or this compound that is bioidentical, which is the best for your health. And if you take an anti-estrogen to keep that estrogen level at bay, because the high estrogen is what causes problems, better yet. And of course, eat healthy. Those are my recommendation. As a person, as a medical professional, as a certified nutrition consultant, those are my recommendation for all you guys. Okay, guys, if you have any questions, any concern, please feel free to write down below. Thank you so much for listening. I appreciate your love. You know how much I love you. Everything's going well with my little Argentinian angel. Hello, Gabby. Can't wait to have you in my arms. Okay, folks. Going to go make my din-din, and I shall see you soon. Love you guys. Love yourselves, too. Bye-bye.